The MLS Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. Hello, everybody. The MLS Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. And if you didn't hear that, Edge Boost is pretty cool. Really excited to check that out. Make sure you head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to check that out. But this is the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and this is the MLS Gambling Podcast. And I am Jacob at Pick Management on Twitter and TikTok and all those wonderful places. And I am here for part 2 of the second half of this week's episode. Ty just nailed part 1. I am here with part 2 for the second half of the Saturday slate. We saw the Wednesday games get pretty wild. We saw some teams that we thought were going to win really lock down and smash. We saw Atlanta get a good win. We saw Columbus, Charlotte. We saw some really good games. We saw Austin finally get a win for Ty there. Of course, the day I pound Seattle pregame is the day that Austin decides to show up and play. We're going to get right into the second half of the slate. We're going to start with the Chicago Fire Atlanta United game. We got some free plays, some predictions, some good stuff for you. So we're going to get right into it with this Atlanta-Chicago game. And we're going to see if the Chicago can bounce back with a new coach. A new manager spin is something to always keep an eye out. I'm not sure if Chicago's going to be able to do it. Atlanta's just been hot, coming off a big win against Colorado. Coach Ezra Hendrickson and Chicago Fire parted ways, like I said. You highly doubt there will be a spike in momentum due to this new Chicago Fire coach. But I don't think it's going to be too embarrassing. Honestly, I think it'll be a little bit lower scoring because of that. I don't know if they're going to have the firepower to keep up with Atlanta. I don't know if it gets too out of control like a 4-0 win that we just saw from them. I don't know if I'm going to take Chicago to score here. I can see this being like a 2-0 Atlanta win. So that's it for this Chicago game. Not too much here. So moving on to FC Dallas versus Houston. Houston's in trouble here. Hitting the road against this Dallas team is going to be nightmare stuff for this Houston team who has yet to win on the road. They are currently 0-4-1 on the road, having lost 4, drawn 1. They gave up more than 1.5 team total goals in 3 of those. They have allowed road goals in every single game. And Houston has not scored in 3 games. So that's something to keep an eye on here, which is trouble when they were taking on a Dallas team who is really lights out at home. Winners of 4 out of 6 home games, scoring over 1.5 team total goals in 4 out of 6 of those games, scoring in all but 1 home game so far this year. We've also seen Dallas has seen both teams score yes in 5 out of their 6 home games. Houston was playing better. So you think they might get a goal here, especially because you're just seeing goals a lot in the matchups between these two. Something for Houston to keep an eye out, though. Houston has not won in 14 tries at Dallas's stadium. So this is going to be tough stuff here for for Houston, hitting the road against Dallas. Moving on to the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. Best bets for this one. I'm going to keep it simple. If you were listening, I'm taking Dallas FC money line. I'm on Dallas team total over 1.5 goals. I'm also on the game over 2.5. And I am going to take a shot on the both teams to score. Yes. This has always been a competitive Texas derby here. In-state matchup for these two. But Dallas is in great form right now, facing this shaky Houston road team. So because of that, let's go Dallas. Gonna stay with them to keep their home winning ways going. So moving on. Next play is going to be the Colorado Rapids versus Real Salt Lake. Two teams who have not been performing well so far this year. Colorado, just pulling up these state stats. Not much to look at here. Real Salt Lake has not scored in 4 out of the last 5 games. We've seen 3 out of those 5 games be 0-0 shutouts. They've lost 3 out of 5 on the road, drawing 1, losing the other, and they're taking on this Colorado team who has yet to win at home. Lost their last game at home to Philadelphia. Before that, they had 3 draws and a loss. Neither of these teams really performing well. Honestly, this is going to be a true stay-away game for me. There could be goals. There could not be. I mean, I don't really have a great read on this game. So, it's okay to not bet every single game on the slate, especially two teams that have a lot left to prove in the league so far this year. I'd be careful to see what you're going to take a bet on. Sometimes it's all right to pass. But one thing I'll tell you not to pass on is this next thing we have coming up here, because SGPN is excited to announce an exclusive early access partnership with Edge Boost, the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Similar to buy now, pay later programs like Affirm and Afterpay, Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest and pay back the advance over 4 equal weekly installments. That's right, 0% interest. Simply deposit funds into your account and Edge Boost will match the deposit so you can use 2 times the funds on any legal sports betting site. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in advances as you build a repayment history. My Edge Boost double down play of the day is going to be on the Dallas team total over 1.5 goals versus Houston. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to sign up today. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. Must be 21 years or older to use. Only valid in legal gambling states. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We are back to check out this St. Louis City versus Sporting KC game. St. Louis City started the season on fire, really taking it to the league, really shocking a lot of people as they performed well above expectations to start the season. We saw them, kind of falter since then, though. In the last 5 games, they've lost 3 of them. But at home, they've only lost 2 games. Winners of 3 out of 5, scoring over 1.5 team total goals in 3 of those. We've seen over the total. We've seen go over or match the total of 3 in 4 out of the last 5 at home for St. Louis. So St. Louis has been seeing goals at home, but they're taking on the Kansas City team, who is in 13th place in MLS, who drew their last game, who have not performed well on the road. They did draw their last game versus LAFC, which is just fucking bullshit. I had LAFC hard, heavy in the last game, and they could not get to 2 goals, which really hurt. That hurt the bankroll. But out of Kansas City's all the games they've played so far this year, they've only won 1 road game, and that was versus Seattle. They've lost 4 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of the 8 road games played, they've lost half of them, and they have not scored in half of those games either. So Kansas City on the road has a lot left to prove, and taking on the St. Louis City team at home, who wants to get back to winning ways, is going to be trouble. At home, they have scored at least 3 goals in 3 of those 5, like I said. The visitors are unbeaten in their 3 games in May, recording both of their wins earlier this month, but those are not wins on the road, and this St. Louis City team is going to be tough to beat at home. So I'm going to be riding with St. Louis City here, plus 105 on the money line to take it to Kansas City. I'm going to stay away from the total here. Nothing on the both teams to score, but I definitely see St. Louis City shutting down this Sporting team and, getting a home win. Next game up is going to be LAFC versus San Jose Earthquake. This is a pretty simple game. I like goals here. Give me one sec to pull this up. But LAFC, MLS champs currently, have been truly dominant at home so far this year. Winners of 4 out of 5, seen over the total in 4 out of those 5, seen over team total 1.5 goals in 4 out of those 5. And 3 out of those 5 games have also seen both teams to score yes, which is something to keep an eye on here as they take on a San Jose team who has seen both teams to score yes, and 4 out of the last 5 have seen over the total of 2.5 in 5 out of the last 5. And when they hit the road, it's pretty much the same. They like to give up goals, like to see high-scoring games, and that's going to be all LAFC needs to see here. LAFC is at currently -1, -1.5 on the line. So I like LAFC -143 here. You can also grab their over team total -195. It's a little juicy over 1.5, but I really think it's going to get here. Honestly, I might hammer that -195 over team total. That's definitely something to look at here. And I definitely see LAFC giving up a goal on the road to San Jose, as this is usually a really competitive matchup between the two teams. We can't stress enough how convinced we are about this. A staggering 90% of the last 10 games between these two sides have ended with over 2.5 goals. So like I said here, goals are not going to be at a premium. We're going to see goals galore in the LAFC versus San Jose game. So let's go with LAFC -1, their team total over. We're going to see both teams to score yes, and we're going to go with over 2.5 goals at -157 for LAFC to take down San Jose Earthquakes. We got a couple more games here. Moving on to Portland versus Minnesota. Portland at home has been all right so far this year. Not much to worry about when taking on this lowly Minnesota team who did take down Houston, which isn't saying much in their last game. They were at home, but before that, losers of 4 out of their last 5 on the road. It did not get much better. Lost 4 out of the last 4. I mean, they did start the season with 3 road wins, but that was a long time ago. February and March was a long time ago for Minnesota. Like I said, losers 4 in a row on the road, giving up over team total goals in those 4. They are in trouble taking on this Portland team who at home, that's where they've been performing. If they, you can call performing, they've at least been putting up goals. They have yet to they've only not scored in 1 home game so far this year. Other than that, we have seen goals. They've won 3 home games, and I think they can actually get a win here against this Minnesota team. Minnesota has left a lot left to desire for the fans. What else we got here? There's just 1 point separating these two sides, and I think that can go a long way here as Portland wants to get some separation, some safety. So with the home advantage, I'm going to see them to see off this struggling Minnesota side, and I'm going to take Portland -105 here on the money line. I'm going to stay away from the total. Might take a look at their team total goals over 1.5, but otherwise, I'm going to keep it simple, stick with this Portland game, and I like Portland here. Pretty simple. Just so you guys know, it's Shady Rays is teaming up with SGPN here for Shady May. Not only do you get an amazing 50% off, but you also have a chance to win $500. Shady Rays has you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. And for our international listeners, Shady Rays has you covered as well with shipping to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. Go to shadyrays.com and use code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Then take your receipt to the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500 Shady May contest. That is a really good deal. So make sure to head over there and check out Shady Rays, awesome sunglasses, awesome contest by SGPN. And that's going to bring us to our last game. We're going to see Vancouver Whitecaps take on the Seattle Sounders. Vancouver has not been playing well. That is the least to say for this team as I pull up their stats here. We saw Seattle take a bad loss to Austin last week. They didn't play great. I think they should have really taken it to that team, and they did not. So Seattle, who on the road is winners of half of their road games, 3 out of 6, only losing 2 of them. So 3-2 and 2 on the 3-2 and 2 on the road. But this Vancouver team lost their last away game to Dallas 2-1. The game before that to Portland 3-1. And the last home game was actually a win to Minnesota. But like I just said, Minnesota has left a lot left to desire for people so far this season. They haven't been playing great, so a win against them I'm not reading too much into. But Vancouver, winners of 3 out of the last 4 at home. But it's been a really, honestly, a pretty easy, home skid for them. They faced Montreal, Portland, Colorado, Minnesota. So yes, they won 3 of those, but they're playing really, pretty poor competition. And I think Seattle is going to come into this game pissed off after losing to Austin. So I'm going to take a road dog here at +200 for the Seattle Sounders. With Vancouver at home, I do like both teams to score yes here. Just because, yes, they have been playing a little bit better at home, played 2 away games in a row. They'd be glad to be back in front of their fans. So I do see this total going over. So both teams to score yes here. And it's going to be -145. It's a little juicy, but I'm going to take it. So -145, and you're going to go Seattle Sounders draw no bet +118. I'm sure Ty would probably say take the double chance here. Seattle Sounders or draw. That's also a good look. But yeah, that is going to do it for me for this show. Make sure to check me out on Twitter at Pick Management, on TikTok at Pick Management, on YouTube at Pick Management. This is the MLS Gambling Podcast on Twitter at MLS SGPN, on YouTube at the MLS Gambling Podcast. We've got all sorts of great stuff planned for the upcoming weeks. And make sure to head over to SGPN. Hey, make sure to check out the Lower League Lowdown, my new article on SGPN, currently 7-0 so far this week on Lower League European Soccer. Been really crushing it. But until next time, Ty and I will be back together next week. And I am Jacob at Pick Management. I will see you later.